Yo, 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 what is good, everyone? Welcome into the Free Money Podcast here, coming to you live with another episode of Across the Pond, the soccer gambling show here on the Free Money Podcast. An unfortunate 0-3 day. It happens after 10 winning days in a row. The streak comes to an end and the mush is on the horizon. Unfortunately, went 0-3. Spain and Switzerland 1-1 after 90 minutes and did not hit the over. Not the greatest, but that is okay. Portland double chance minus 130. They allowed a goal off of a corner kick, and when you see that, you know that you're in trouble. That was a loser as well. 4-1 loss for Portland. And lastly, Houston Dynamo, double chance. I can't count for players getting red cards in the 62nd minute. Houston got a red card, and 5 minutes after, Seattle scored. So, 0-3 day, -3 units, bringing the show total to 17.35 on the plus. So, let's roll into Sunday here. We start with pick number 1, Pedro Neto, to have 2 or more shots on target, plus 275 on DraftKings. Neto plays for the under-21 Portugal side. Neto will start up top for this Portugal team and had a busy game last time out against Belgium. He had 4 shots on goal and 4 attempted assists. Best case for us would be that there is only one striker up top, because when he was paired with another striker against the Netherlands, he only had 1 shot on goal. He is familiar with the opponent, playing for Wolverhampton in the Premier League. Portugal plays England today and has been there for quite some time now, since he was 18 years old and now enters year 22. Neto had his best season in the 20-21 season, 5 goals and 6 assists for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Can we get that version of Neto today? Would be incredible. Plus 275, a great price for someone that not only has done this in the past for the under-21 Portugal side, but has done it in his career in England. Out there in the Premier League, they all know each other. He likely will know 75% of this under-21 England side. So that is in our favor as well. In 5 games last season, Neto reached this total, and that included a game recently in May against Brighton. England has allowed 8 shots on goal in 3 group games, and I think that will tick up a bit today. These games tend to be a little bit closer, and things happen that you don't really expect or necessarily expect. So, Pedro Neto, 2 or more shots on target, plus 275. Pick number 2, we go to the second under-21 game for the European Championship. Both teams to score no. France and Ukraine, minus 110 on the Barstool Sportsbook. This French side has talent, and we saw that their last game against Switzerland, and the offense performed extremely well. Goalkeeper Chevalier faced 2 shots and allowed a goal. Not the best, but I think that he will have a bounce-back performance here and keep the Ukraine side out of the back of the net. This French team only allowed 2 shots on goal versus Norway and Switzerland, but in their first game, 7 versus Italy. That can happen again. And I think that they have addressed that. The first game, you perform your worst, and you improve every game since. And especially when you enter the knockout stage of this under-21 European Championship tournament. Ukraine had a fairly easy group and played good defense themselves. 2 out of their 3 games were both teams to score no, and they themselves had 2 clean sheets. Goalkeeper Nesheret has played well, considering the strength of his team being from primarily the midfield and the attack. The back 4, no notable names, serviceable, but there's no notable names that anyone would really know. Georgia and Israel on Saturday went 0-0 and ended up going to penalty kicks, and Spain and the Swiss also went to extra time. So these games get a little bit tighter as we get into the knockout stage, as it does in any tournament. Coach Rotan for Ukraine will be, I think, prideful and knows what is going to happen here with his team. He knows his team best, and they will be ready to roll here and play their best defense against this offensive French side. And the French themselves will realize the severity of this game. They are favored. They have expectations. But they know that if you let the game get out of hand, it generally benefits the underdog, which they are the favorite, so they don't want that. So both teams just score no. France, Ukraine, -110. Lastly, CONCACAF Gold Cup, we go to North America. USA against Trinidad and Tobago, over 3.5, -107 on the Barstool Sportsbook. USA went bananas for 6 goals against St. Kitts and Nevis last game in Game 2 of their group stage. Jesus Ferreira had a hat trick, and 2 other players chipped in to aid the offense. Trinidad and Tobago allowed 4 goals to Jamaica their last game and got a goal themselves, which is pretty good considering they have not many notable names. As we reach the final group stage game, some of these players will likely not see playing time the rest of the way and will want to make an impression. Whether that goes both ways, whether you send the offense and yourself too far deep into the offensive zone, leave yourself vulnerable, or vice versa, you try to make a big play on defense that leaves your defense vulnerable. There is going to be opportunities for goals to be scored here on both sides. USA obviously being a bit more talented. The last time that these two teams played, it was a friendly, and the USA won 7-0. So, over 3.5 is definitely in play here. 4 goals is achievable, especially when Trinidad and Tobago is scoring themselves. Would love if they can chip in and end up with a 3-1 score and get a goal themselves. And I do expect a lineup change, kind of like I mentioned. Some of these players won't be playing much more in the knockout stages, so this is a chance for them to make their name and put some goals in the back of the net. So to recap, we start the day up 17.35 units after a disappointing 0-3 day. But we start a new streak here on the show. And as always, we have 3 plays. Pick number 1, Pedro Neto for Portugal and the under-21s to have 2 or more shots on target plus 275. Great player and has played against these England foes before. Pick number 2, both teams to score no. France and Ukraine -110 on the Barstool Sportsbook. I think this game is closer than most people expect and may end in a draw. Who knows? But both teams are really good on the defense side. And lastly, to finish, USA against Trinidad and Tobago over 3.5 goals -107 on the Barstool Sportsbook. Thank you all for listening. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. Had a disappointing day on Saturday, but we look to finish the weekend strong. Let me know what else you would like me to talk about, any games you want me to focus on. I am more than game for anything as we wait until the domestic leagues start over in Europe. Thank you very much for listening, and see you next time.